Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of our F1 2021 My Driver Career Mode. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we go racing in the United States here in Austin, Texas, as we come to a GP that I'm not personally a huge fan of this track. I've never really enjoyed driving it, so we'll see what we can do here on track today. I usually struggle with the pace at this track, especially through Sector 1, Sector 2, with the S's towards the first part of the track after turns 1. With just this game in specific, because AI at a lot of tracks right now in this game still are able to just haul them out through some of the sections where they shouldn't be able to this year. Now, as we might have some regulations changes coming in the next season, and I'm sure in the next couple episodes we're probably going to get some confirmation if that is happening here. Now, as we are not going to waste any time today, we're going to jump through into practice here in the United States now, as the weather was looking really good compared to last season here in our rookie season with the Castrol Haas team, as it is going to be dry this time. In last GP when we came here, it was raining, I think the whole GP if I am not mistaken, if I remember correctly now. But we would get ready to make some laps here in the Aston Martin around the United States GP track here in Austin, Texas at Circuit of the Americas, and I was struggling quite a bit actually here. I could not find any pace in practice now as I came through doing the race strategy program, and even with I felt like an all-out lap, I couldn't beat the target time, and that remained as a trend all weekend long here through practice and potentially qualifying as well here. As at the end of FP1, I found myself down in 18th place. So I actually went in and got a completely new setup before we came through into qualifying, because I did some more practice sessions. Of course, I got 3 practice sessions. I did them all just hoping something was going to click, and nothing worked. I was trying new setups. Nothing was working. I think it just came down to potentially maybe just my actual driving at this point, it felt like here, as I couldn't figure it out. So we come through into qualifying, and the expectations and confidence both were, honestly, I would say, like at an all-time low for this season with Aston Martin. And we came through to complete our first lap, and it was already not looking good. We were down in 19th place after one lap around Circuit of the Americas. So obviously we have to come through and make another lap here. Now, as it in general wasn't looking great for Aston Martin as a whole. We had the 5th best car on the track right now, but Vettel not in the top 10, myself obviously nowhere near the top 10 here now. As we were able to find some time, we found about half a second extra as we came through to cross the line. Lost some time there at the final corner, but we still end up P17, and we are going to get eliminated in the bottom 5 in qualifying 1. Not sure exactly what to say. I couldn't find the pace, and you can see that we were a couple of tenths off of Schumacher, who was in 15th. We got beat by a Haas, so we got a lot of work to do here in Circuit of the Americas. We're going to head to the grid and send it over to Crofty.
Here we are then in one of the fastest growing cities in the United States, the fabulous Austin, in the great state of Texas. The circuit itself 14 miles southeast of the city centre and home to the US Grand Prix since 2012. The latest in a long list of iconic tracks to have that honour. We have 10 turns to the left and 10 to the right here at the fantastic Circuit of the Americas. Overtaking opportunities into turn 1 and 12 at this anti-clockwise 3.6 mile track. And we should see average lap speeds of around 126 miles per hour. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Valtteri Bottas lines up on pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Perez, Carlos Sainz and Russell, Vettel, Giovinazzi, Mick Schumacher and Daniel Ricciardo, Norris, the rookie, Charles Leclerc and Stroll, Tsunoda, Ocon, they've taken a grid penalty, Nicholas Latifi and Callum Islet, Gasly, and Guan Yu Zhou. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out. Then let's see who can prevail today.
A lot of work to do, but you know what? We've been helped out a little bit here on the grid due to grid penalties. We somehow find ourselves up in 12th place here on this one-stop strategy today, from the soft tire to the medium tire. Might see some two-stoppers here and there, I'm not sure, but I wouldn't be surprised at the front of the grid if we see maybe a soft to a hard tire compound instead of a soft to medium. So we'll see what happens here as we get ready to take it to the grid here now. As you can see, our teammate of Vettel moves up into 7th place here as we are right behind the McLaren duo of Daniel Ricciardo just in front of us, Lando Norris on the right, Charles Leclerc for Ferrari just behind, and Lance Stroll, a fellow Canadian there in the Castrol Haas just behind myself here as we're going to get ready to go lights out here. And now as you got Mercedes and Red Bull both up there in the top 4 now, as it's going to be lights out and we are underway in Circuit of the Americas. Valtteri Bottas leads the way down towards turn 1. Verstappen, Hamilton, Perez all behind him there. As you can see, Carlos Sainz trying to get his elbows out there and mix it up, and he actually completes the pass there on the Red Bull. BMW moves up into 4th place. It's a tremendous start for Bottas, who's already checked out here now, as he's going to need an absolute miracle of Verstappen having some type of failure or accident, something that leads to a DNF to keep himself in this championship fight now, as Verstappen can lock up the title probably next episode if things go his way. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there, as I'm very excited to see what happens between these two now, as Verstappen has been unbelievable form that driver has had this season here, looking for his first World Drivers' Championship now, as Bottas is a one-time champion after winning last season over his teammate of Lewis Hamilton, who had that massive downfall after the Japanese GP there, where it all started with a mechanical failure. As you can see, everybody kept it pretty clean here now, as I'm actually in a side-by-side scrap here with Yuki Tsunoda, who's going to sail it up the inside of me and actually gets into the back of the Castrol Haas just in front of myself there, and he's going to get some wing damage. As you can see, he's completely missing that front right end plate, and he had no pace at all after that, so I just cruised by on the right hand side and said I'll see you later, and I will continue on my way now as we try to run down Mick Schumacher there. As you can see, overall though, clean start for everybody other than Tsunoda there, who had that wing damage picked up here in just the first and opening lap now, as I'm still in P12 after making that pass on Tsunoda, and he was holding up Leclerc and everybody behind him. So now we have a nice comfortable gap for the time being, but Tsunoda of course comes into the pit lane at the end of this first and opening lap. Not sure if I'm going to even have anything for anybody in front of me at this point based off of practice and our qualifying pace, but we would start to run down Mick Schumacher now as we come through to lap 3. DRS of course gets enabled here, and we would use that to our advantage. We were within that 1 second threshold to get to the back of Schumacher, and we get right to his gearbox here at the end of this third lap. DRS activated, ERS on overtake, and we're going to get right to the gearbox, and we're going to swing to the right hand side of the track and easily get past Schumacher down into turn 1. We were ahead before we even hit the braking zone, so up into 11th place we go. Leclerc joining the party very, very quick, and I knew it was just a matter of time until he got here, and he passed Schumacher very quick, got to me by the time we came through to the end of lap 5, coming to lap 6, and I knew it was just a matter of time until he was going to be able to pass me. There's no point in fighting him right now. We're still just a little bit too far behind them in the R&D to really be putting up a huge fight, and as well today we're just in general too far off the pace from Ferrari to be able to put the fight to them now as we come through down through this sharp left-hander onto this long back straightaway, and that's going to open the door for Leclerc to be right on our gearbox there in the Ferrari, as he's going to probably just completely blow our doors right off here now, as we do make a quick strategy change lap 13 instead of lap 11 for our one and only pit stop to the medium tire, and Leclerc goes by there on the left-hand side. So I didn't see too much of a point to fight him. I knew I just didn't have the pace today, and you can see that coming into effect now on lap 7. He has opened it up over to 1.2 seconds at this point, but I'm surprisingly comfortably pulling away from everybody behind me, and based off of our pace and practice and qualifying, I honestly thought we were going to be slower than the Haas at this point and the Williams, so I was pleasantly surprised by my pace in the race. Now as we come through to the end of lap 8, the leader of Bottas comes into the pit lane here, and surprisingly he's the only one of the top 4 as Verstappen stays out. So does Lewis Hamilton, Carlos Sainz, Perez down there in 5th place, going to stay out on the track as well. Now to the end of lap 10, as you can see, Verstappen, Hamilton, they now come in there running 1-2 at the time, and well, they're going to exit in the same form, and now we're going to wait to see if Bottas would be able to get out in front of them now as I come through to lap 12 myself, and I was already still behind these guys, and then our teammate Sebastian Vettel comes in on the end of lap 12, and I can confirm Bottas would be out in front of both Verstappen as well as Lewis Hamilton here, and then at the end of lap 13 I come in to make my pit pit stop. So far, other than that one moment with Tsunoda getting wing damage there on the first lap, this has been an extremely calm GP so far. We've had a lot of crazy stuff going on recently here in these GPs, and we come in to put on the medium tire. I also made a downforce change there with the wing, moved it up, I think, from 7 to 8, as I was really struggling to get this car to turn through some of these corners, and especially through the S's in the first sector. I was really noticing it. A 2.9 second pit stop, so a little bit slow right there, and we come out behind Giovinazzi and Latifi there in the Williams duo. Now, as you can see, there's a big mix with medium tires, hard tires, as well as same up front. There's a bunch of drivers on the hard tire, but we quickly run down Antonio Giovinazzi here, and I'm going to try and swing around to the right-hand side and pass him through turn 1, and we're going to try and go around the outside the long way, and we're sure enough going to be able to pull it off into overtake mode again on the ERS. A little bit of oversteer right there, but we catch it, and we move up into the 12th position, and in my opinion, like I said, putting up surprising pace compared to what we had in practice and qualifying. I was very happy that we actually somehow find ourselves in position to potentially fight for some points here in Circuit of the Americas before this GP comes to a close today. Just 4 GPs remain, of course, after today. We go to Mexico, then we have Brazil, then we have Australia and Abu Dhabi there for the season finale. Then we go into that 3rd season already of this My Driver career mode, where we will have 2 new tracks on the schedule with Portimao as well as Imola there. As you see, we've got past Charles Leclerc, who was on a different strategy. He's on a 2-stop strategy, so he took the soft tire on his first stop, now put on the medium tire with just over 10 laps to go, and now it's going to be the question of, can we hold him off? Well, he quickly runs me down now, less than a second between the both of us with 10 laps remaining, but we're quickly running down George Russell in the Alpine on the hard compound, and I'm hopeful that we can get past him before Leclerc gets past me. And then I had a bit of an idea: try to hold Russell in DRS of myself to keep him ahead of Leclerc, because if Russell doesn't have DRS, Leclerc is just going to go right on by him, no problem. But if I keep Russell in my DRS, it's going to make Leclerc a very tough pass to complete on Russell. So I was hoping that we could use that to our advantage. Now, Tsunoda on lap 19 is actually out of the session there, as it had a mechanical failure he did, and that's just not a good United States GP for Yuki Tsunoda here. As we go through the grid, Verstappen actually got himself out front over Hamilton and Bottas there, as now Perez down in 4th place, Sainz in 5th, Sebastian Vettel, our teammate right here, having a tremendous GP so far in the 6th position. Then you got the McLaren duo of Lando Norris, as well as the Australian of Daniel Ricciardo. Then you go to George Russell in the Alpine, who might be under attack from myself here now. As you can see, 3 drivers, myself, Leclerc and Russell, all very close together now, as we are going to have DRS here in just a few moments time as we head down towards this hairpin here. So I was doing my best to make sure that we don't get a vulnerable position and get ourselves overtaken by Leclerc. There's a Tsunoda pulled over on the right-hand side of the track, but we are going to activate DRS right here, and we're already going to be right on the gearbox of Russell. Move to the left-hand side of the track, and we're easily going to pass him. Now it's about keeping him in front of Leclerc, and thankfully he does stay in front of Charles Leclerc. So now we can keep Russell in our DRS range for as long as possible and just drag him along to keep him in front of that Ferrari who is faster than both of us. There you see the rest of the run-through of the grid there with Callum Ilott, Latifi, Guan Yu Zhou there towards the bottom now as we come through to lap 22 at this point, and we had nothing to run down Daniel Ricciardo or Lando Norris. I knew it was no shot we were getting to any of those guys at this point, so it was just all about holding on to 9th place, and I was very, very content with a 9th place finish here in the USA, but it's all about what happens between Russell and Leclerc, and I held Russell in DRS range all the way to lap 24, and it worked perfectly to plan. He was able to stay in front of Leclerc. Unfortunately, I get a little bit too far out in front of him, and by the time we came through to the end of the straightaway on the same lap, Leclerc makes the pass on Russell. But now we have 5 laps to go, and we have a lot of ERS energy saved up to fight Leclerc if he gets to our gearbox, and that's what it turns into here, just trying to make sure I can remain in front of Leclerc to the end of this GP. Now to lap 25, 4 laps to go, and I was surprised we didn't pick up too many warnings, by the way, on corner cutting today. I did pick up one warning on the exit of that penultimate corner leading down into that final turn. It went a little bit too wide at one point, but that was the only warning I got. Now as we come through to 3 laps to go, Leclerc within about half a second here. As you can see me trying to break that slipstream, pull over to the left left side of the track, swing back over to the right side of the track to have that preferred lane for braking down into turn 1. And we were doing a strong performance right here, holding him off, and down this long straightaway with 3 laps to go. He's got DRS, but I got overtake mode on and just hoping for the best, and we are just barely able to continue to stay in front of Charles Leclerc. Coming to 2 laps to go, same situation, staying in front of him, and it's all about the traction. If you can get that grip and get that power down on the exit of the final turn and that turn heading down that long straightaway, you can pretty much stay ahead of the driver behind you, and that's exactly what happens. We come through to the final lap of the United States GP, a very, very calm GP here. It's been a very fascinating recent set of GPs here for us in Formula 1, where we went to Italy. We DNF'd on the very final lap in an accident there. We went to Russia in the next GP and had a mechanical failure in the first 10 laps. We went to Singapore, had one of the best performances all season long with 6th place. We went to Japan and crashed with 2 laps to go on a safety car restart, and now here we are with 4 DNFs, or 3 DNFs in the last 4 races, trying to at least have a finish here today in the USA, and it looks like we're going to finally get that. But definitely, to say the least, we definitely have not had a lot of luck lately here. Well, we have had luck, it's just bad luck now, as Max Verstappen, though, comes through to win the United States GP over Valtteri Bottas in 2nd place and extends his championship lead. Doesn't quite clinch the Drivers' World title, but he is ever so close to doing that within the next episode or 2 now, as we head down towards this final sector, trying to hold off Leclerc. At this point, obviously, if you're ahead, you're pretty much guaranteed to hold them off unless you make some silly mistake. So it's all about bringing it home at this point through that final sweeping right-hander into the penultimate corner. And sure enough, we are going to be able to hold off the Ferrari driver, Charles Leclerc. They're the Singapore GP winner from last season, his only win so far in the My Driver Series, as we come through to finish in 9th place. You know, not the best day in the world, but considering where we were looking in practice and qualifying, I was very, very satisfied with the performance that we put up here today in the United States, as Lando Norris wins Driver of the Day as we go to the podium here for some celebrations.
That's it then for another magnificent United States Grand Prix, and they've hung on to take a sublime victory here today. Talk to me, Ants. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
Well, I think it was clear what the main contributing factor out on the track was today: speed. I know it sounds like an obvious thing to say, Crofty, but fast cars win races, and we saw that today with our winner.
Red Bull are our winners today after showcasing some incredible driving. There's been a huge push from them lately to stay competitive with the other teams, and they're certainly proving themselves.
There you saw the podium. There is Sebastian Vettel with a strong race in P7, myself in 9th place. As you see the rest of the finishing order on your screen, you'll see the points as well. But remember when I was talking about the luck that we've had recently? We've had luck, but it's been bad luck. It got worse. Yes, the race is over, but we still have one heck of a moment here where I couldn't believe what happened here. So when I was in the replay system after this, getting just, of course, footage, my game froze at Carlos Sainz on the final lap, final turn, game crashed. Everything was gone. Everything got wiped from that GP. I had to end up just, of course, taking the loss. And surprisingly, we still get a very similar GP order, other than myself. I was down in last place. So that means the last 4 of 5 GPs now have been basically throwaways. Our luck has been awful. I don't even know what to say about it at this point. 4 GPs remaining in Mexico. Hopefully we can finally have some luck on our side. If you guys enjoyed, you know what to do. Like I said, the GP order was pretty much the same after I had to just retire and simulate the race after it crashed. And fortunately, it didn't really affect anything with the championship battle. But it's unfortunate how it ended. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you to the members, of course, and have yourselves a great day.